So apologies, I don't have the bloody bandage to go around my eyes for this, but if it gets much worse, that might end up being the appropriate kit. So I've not been feeling great today for whatever reason. Just, like flu symptoms almost coming back that I had like 2 weeks ago, feeling really tired, a bit nauseous, sort of hot, all that sort of stuff. I'm not doing too badly though, but, I think I just need more rest. But it's not like, I've got a job to call in sick to or anything at the moment with all the stuff that's going on. Sadly, I can't put the SLR of this on live stream either because, yeah, Mike, really struggled to get out of bed today, felt really tired and sort of achy. And then all of the, rest of the day felt lightheaded, sort of sick and all the stuff like that. So it just feels like the symptoms I had 2 weeks ago coming back. But cheers, Amanda. But, this is a very relevant hat, but sadly I can't show it on the live stream with the thing that goes with it, and I've not gone to the effort of putting a bloody bandage around my face yet for it as well. That's cool, White Wolf. You've got tested and you were negative. That's good news. But you're still having to be in quarantine. No idea, Phoenix. Probably not. I think I've just had like a flu type thing, but no way of really knowing. Yeah, I on purposely was looking for one of these and bidding on it, so I can now get it with, I'll eventually combine it with a greatcoat and some bloody bandages to go around the eyes. This thing here, which is certainly part of the costume, but I can't show it in the live stream because of YouTube's policy, unfortunately. Wow, I'd rather not be a traffic warden, in all honesty. Yeah, the health minister's infected, the prime minister's infected, and the chief medical advisor or whatever is being tested as well. Yeah, I'm taking multivitamins. It's good they at least have protection on White Wolf, because in a lot of places the people actually having to do the stuff aren't. I've still got full taste and smell. That's not been an issue. Anyway, I'll take the hat off for now because I don't want to be wearing a traffic warden hat all stream. But 1984, Andy, not 1983, but yes, Fred's. So when everything gets really bad, it'll be beyond respirators and everything else. It'll just be a traffic warden hat and an SLR. The R1A one's down there. Yeah, I'm just not allowed to show it because of YouTube streaming policies. I'm alright, White Wolf, but as I said, I've got the flu symptoms coming back again, it seems, so I'm hoping I'm just having one day where I feel ill, but, most of the days recently I've been feeling better and better, and then all of a sudden I've had the flu symptoms come back again. I've got an SLR secure mindset where it's deactivated, but if you've seen Fred, you'd understand why it would go with the hat. But yeah, so the UK's got infected top-level people now, so apologies, the same people that were saying, everything was going to be fine and, herd immunity and all that bollocks. Turns out it's not fine, is it? All right, hope you got all the stuff you need, speaking of Truth Media, but good for you in Infinity. All right, let's see if there's any questions coming through in the stream. Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Lots of countries are running out of ventilators. That's been a big issue from the beginning of this. So apparently in Spain now, they're just sedating people they don't have ventilators for, so they die as peacefully as possible. It's fucked up, isn't it? But there's not much more you can do. But again, you still got the idiots going, oh, it's just the flu, it's just the flu, it's just the flu. I wasn't aware during a flu outbreak that, they just sedated people and let them die as peacefully as possible in a hospital if they were over a certain age and they didn't have the spare ventilators. But, there you go. Speaking of Truth Media said, brought some lovely long life soup from Asda, lasts until November next year. We should be good. No, that sounds good. Thank you, Altrix. You said, hope you feel better. Don't know if you saw, just got my M40 dual filtered. It's amazing. Ah, cool. Yeah, so did you put that deflector valve in it or whatever it was Duke was saying you had to put in it? But Kenjiro said, I had a sore throat last night, lasted about 2 hours, then it goes. I keep getting a load of phlegm built up in my throat at night. Phlegm isn't apparently a thing from corona, so you've probably just got some sort of regular, upper respiratory infection, I guess. But corona doesn't produce mucus or phlegm, apparently, or like a runny nose. All it does is, gives you a dry cough and the temperature, Most are selling out now on eBay Alpha Sierra. I've not seen any police vests for a while, no riot helmets, no, all sorts of stuff like that. Oh, it's going to go on for ages, speaking of Truth Media. They know they can't get rid of it at this stage. In a lot of countries, they're not even at their peak yet. Italy isn't even at its peak yet. So it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse every week until it gets to the worst it can possibly be. And then it will start, slowly going down again. That's how, infections work. They're essentially a curve, a bell curve. And one thing that a lot of people want to do is flatten the curve. So it ends up looking more like that rather than that shape. But it'll go on for ages. It's not going to suddenly go away in a week or two. Thank you very much, God Emperor. He said, love the decor. Do you know when babies get COVID, they're basically not sick and they're only showing the barest signs of disease? It's like they have a little cold. I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it, actually, if children can't get really ill with it. But to be honest, I think we're going to have to wait and see a bit longer for all that stuff, because I don't actually know if that's going to be, I really would hope that is the case, that young kids and babies can't die from it or whatever. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it'd be really good if at least they don't die from it, I guess. Altrix, thank you again. He said it doesn't actually need a deflector for the right side. From what I've seen, it pressurizes and works. But yeah, all right, that's cool then. Casper says, my friend has been very, very ill and has filled 3 glasses with phlegm, has been stuck in his bed, not being able to move all week, and he's left with no voice. I don't know if it's cold or placebo or he has it. Well, if he's that ill, we should call a doctor, shouldn't he? Or phone a hospital. But it sounds like he has really bad flu or something. But schools in the UK are closed, yes. Yeah, what was I... There's something I was going to say and I can't remember what it was now. Sadly, you can't at the moment, World, because Russia's banned PPE exports. That gets asked on like every stream at the moment. Well, one of the things, speaking of Truth Media, have you seen China apparently has 21 million less mobile phone users at the moment? Where did they all go? Peach says, open this if you can, Liam. It's something on Varustelka or Varustelika. Don't sneeze on me. Excellent. Yeah. Andrea says, we are worried here in Queens, New York City. The nice thing is that us neighbours are checking with each other through text. I hope more places have still an actual community where people help each other. Yeah, that's good. At least in the UK, we had a thing where lots of people signed up for like a voluntary thing to like deliver groceries to like disabled or elderly people or vulnerable people. I'm meant to be finding out soon if I'm on the more vulnerable list, because I've got asthma, but it's very mild. But I've also got ulcerative colitis, and apparently some people with UC are getting sent the letters telling you, to make sure for 12 weeks you don't see anybody. But yeah, it's very strange, like a lot of this stuff, because apparently, some people are being told the same conditions in the UK. You're at greater risk and other people aren't, so who knows? Eltrick says, oh God, I'm going to go so broke joke. You got another donation check above. Well, thank you very much. Which donation did I miss? Don't think I've missed any, have I read out God Emperor's one. All right, I missed Vladimir. Hello, Vladimir. Well, here in Moscow, before countrywide weekend, since next Monday to next Sunday has the state of countrywide days off. Yeah, didn't Putin give you all a holiday or something to help try and slow down the spread of infection? But I guess that's a good holiday sort of thing. Thank you, Nebu Chadnazar, as always. Viruses can always mutate, though, yeah. Don't they already reckon there might be 20 variances going around at this point? I was reading there's at least 2, but I was reading somewhere it could be as much as 20. Thank you very much, Max. He said, good cheap food to eat is cabbage and potatoes. Both plants are hearty, healthy, and apparently people aren't buying fresh produce in the States. That's silly if they're not buying it. In the UK, a lot of fresh produce has been selling out. I know a lot of people are obviously buying stuff they can freeze or keep for longer, but potatoes are great because you can literally just plant potatoes and grow new potatoes from them. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, thank you again for your donation. But yeah, so I'll see in a week or so if I end up getting one of those letters. I don't know if I will or not. If you want to donate Infinity, you can either donate below via Patreon, there's a link, or you can donate via a super chat. On your super chat interface, there should be a chat box. And then below on that, there should be a $sign. You should click the $sign, but I think you have to have all your like Google Pay stuff set up to do it. Oh, technically, a gas mask is just a mask with a combination filter for the most part. I mean, technically, the real name for it would be like anti-gas respirator or anti-gas mask, wouldn't it? But nobody really cares on the sort of semantics of it or whatever you call it. Daniel, Patreon is, there's not much in it, but Patreon I think takes less than YouTube. But with Patreon, I cash it out like once a month or once every 2 months, whereas with YouTube, I automatically get paid it. There's not really any difference. But if you want to do something really good with your money, donate it to like some sort of healthcare thing or a charity thing, because that's more worthwhile to me. I'm just saying, you know, because if you do the Patreon, I can PM you a Discord link later on. But yeah, Patreon is a bit better in some ways because you can edit your pledges whenever you want to or stop them at any point or whatever. Whereas with Super Chat, you know, it's sort of a bit of a weird thing because YouTube takes a cut or whatever. I thought it was 30% YouTube gets, Vladimir. But I know it's quite a bit. Scott M110, that's the one I've got, isn't it? That's like the M95, but without the drinking tube. Yeah, it's a very good mask, very comfortable, good field of view. Is Radio Model 4, is that the same thing as the 4A1 or very similar? Yeah, that's very good for what it is. It's not the best mask in the world, but if you can get one for a good price, it's very decent. But can you use Streamlabs properly through YouTube? This is the thing, because I know like I can use OBS through YouTube, and then using OBS through YouTube's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass because it like lags a lot more behind when you view the stream and that sort of stuff. I think weapon collectors use Streamlabs, but the problem is they limit you to like how much you can do unless you're paying them. So again, even if people can donate via Streamlabs, you're still having to pay Streamlabs, are you? So I imagine in a lot of ways it doesn't really work out. You know, there's not many things if you want to donate to creators where somebody isn't taking a cut because that's how they make their margins. Yeah, if you Patreon or Super Chat Infinity, you get access to Discord. The really easy way of doing it is, yeah, if it's easier on Discord actually because you can just PM me once you've donated on Discord and ask for an invite, whereas through Super Chat you have to give me your ID and hope you've got spelt it right. Oh, StreamYard is the one you use, is it, Mike? Vladimir says OBS is much better than Streamlabs, really, much easier. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it, exploring that? I think when that's going on in the UK, it's going to keep it dragged on much longer because, again, the more people that don't take quarantine seriously and, you know, keep going out, the longer all this is going to drag on, you know, and the worse it's going to be for everybody. PTM1 would work to a degree, John Paulstone, because a PTM1 mask is, you know, like a filtered, basically, face piece. So, yeah. I doubt it's as good as a proper HEPA filter. Well, it won't be because it's just like a kind of layer of cotton, but it's certainly better than nothing. Right, Dorian, how did you donate? Because if you've donated on the stream, you need to go and tell me which stream it was. Not as far as I know in terms of reusable one. Dog, you can. There's things like N95 masks, but again, they're not really meant to be reusable. Can you go into a bit more detail of that, Shadow? Spaghetti Bolognese said, what's a good price for a British Mark III NBC suit? You used to be able to get them for like £10 to £20 sealed, like the trousers and the top vacuum packed. Right, do you know which stream it was on, Dorian Cats? Well, I think I do recognise your name, so if you've got a Discord ID, you need to post it. Just make sure your Discord ID is done properly, because a lot of the time people give an incorrect Discord ID and then they can't get invited. Yeah, what Nate says, any mask is better than no mask at all. I mean, wow, assuming it's got some sort of filter medium to it. But I mean, even a very basic filter medium is going to cut down on the amount of stuff that gets through. That's good, Rogan. But yeah, in the UK, I think Dyson, the vacuum cleaner sort of Hoover manufacturer, they've been apparently doing making some, and then the government's going, oh, we don't know if we need to get them or not. So yeah, that's that. I'm just going to use my inhaler because my chest is a bit tight, but I think that is just normal asthma. All right, let me sort out for you, Dorian. Give me one moment and I'll be back in the chat. Vladimir says Clorox does not kill viruses and provokes asthma, so that's not a very good combination then, is it? Well, it's been like 2 weeks, Magician Man. That's not that unusual. When I've bought parcels from China before, the fastest they come is about a week, and I've had some that have never turned up or some that take several months. So wait till it's a couple of months before claiming a thing. Well, with AliExpress, actually, wait till it's just about to... Dorian Couch, your username's wrong again. Can you please do it correctly? This is what I was saying about what you probably did before when you donated, gave the wrong username, and then we couldn't invite you. So do the thing so it copies and pastes your username for you. Right. Cool. I'll check after the stream, Infinity. Thanks. Send a message. There's that. Just looking at a nice picture of Altrix's M40. No, all of them are quite happy at the moment, Gregory, because I've given them handed them out masks to use. So Oh, nice! You've got a VPU for it as well. Looks really nice. Connor says, right, let me add you on Discord. Love your videos. Keep up the great work. Hopefully you don't stay unwell for long. Thank you. I'm hoping it's just like asthma being irritated by a flu type thing. I mean, if this is corona, it's not too bad in all honesty. It's pretty easy to deal with, but... Right, tell you what, because I was saying to Newt, do you want to post in the chat and then I can just deputize you from the chat? But yeah, what was I going to say? But the thing is, the weird thing of corona, it seems to be, from a lot of people that get it, is it seems to be either more or less extreme for people randomly. Like there was a woman phoning in on LBC who was like 50 something. Oh, there we go. Who's 50 something year old son, done Newt, there you go. Died, which was quite tragic, with no underlying health conditions. And then there was a 21-year-old girl that died recently of no underlying health conditions. So it's weird, isn't it? Because you get some people that are quite old and seem to get through it fine. It almost seems like it's a random chance if you get it really severely, not. Well, weirdly, Uniform Collector, you wouldn't be wrong saying a bus hat, because if you look at the label at the back of it, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. It was originally, by the look of it, a bus conductor's hat. They stuck a label in. It says J. Compton Sons and Webb Limited, service central buses, driver, conductor, size 678, which is too small for me in all honesty. So that's why it sits on my head like that. But it was to go for the Fred's aesthetic once, and everything gets really, really bad. Moston A says a 50-year-old friend of a relative is dying from corona right now. Very sorry to hear that then. Pretty random, true. Greetings from Germany. Hello to you. It's tragic, isn't it? But it seems very random with people why some people seem to get severely and others don't, especially when, again, people without underlying health conditions can die from it. Because I completely understand if it was just the more old and frail you are, the more at risk you are. But when it seems to be just some people can just be cut down by it, it's very, very strange. Sadly, not Rolling Stoner, because this is a YouTube live stream. Otherwise, I'd put a bloody bandage on the hat and the foul. But I can get the foul out for a regular video, because YouTube's terms of service say you can't have guns on a live stream, but you can in a normal video. So I was thinking of doing a video that somebody suggested of like tiers of corona protection, which is like lightweight corona tier, something like this, full corona tier, which is like NBC suits and the mask and everything, and then after everything's gone to shit, and then put a bloody bandage around my face with the SLR and the traffic warden hat on. That movie, you don't need to spam the chat, is called Freds, and it's from 1984. It's it's from Fred's, where there's a traffic. I put a DVD away, otherwise I just hold the DVD up because the traffic warden's on the front cover. But yeah, Templar S off. It's because people are buying it because they're worried, I think. 395, I think, Infinity quite a few years ago, when they were more sensibly priced. I think Farrells look better than G3s, but again, it depends because there's some nice looking Setmes and G3s, and some models of Farrell are ugly, some models are quite nice looking. P100 is good, yes. Yeah, Fred's is on YouTube. It's not very good quality. The DVD is a really good remaster. Recently, there was like a re-release done on DVD and Blu-ray. There's not much point getting a Blu-ray because it's just like the same as a DVD, like upscaled more. But yeah, the DVD restoration is very good because obviously it was like a made-for-TV movie. Thank you again, Altrix. He said, I brewed for the filters I got, now my throat feels weird, oh god. It's probably just that one of the filters isn't quite intact and you've got a tiny bit of charcoal into your throat. We're on about Fred's, Rajiv, as in the very, very bleak, depressing film about nuclear war that people watch and then say, oh, I just feel awful now. Thank you very much, Fernando. He said, if I loaned you a Russian PMKS gas mask, would you review it on? Well, at the moment, I'd rather not accept anything like that, just because a lot of stuff isn't getting posted properly, so I wouldn't want to take the risk. But I wouldn't mind reviewing something like that. But it's something I wouldn't mind buying at some point, in all honesty. But at the moment, I'd say any of the masks you've got like that, keep them for yourself or family members or something like that. Because again, they're going to probably be in more need of them. I got the Avon M50 Archie for £50, and I was lucky because that was a size small and it was 50, and the mediums were 100 for the starting bid, and the mediums went up higher, but the one I bid £50 on, the small, I got for £50, and it turns out the small isn't too tight a fit on me. Thank you again, Max. He said, in our neighbourhood, my family buys our neighbours' groceries when we go out, since we have NRBC, as you mean CBRN equipment. This lowers exposure on our area. Yeah, very good idea. People at the store hate us because they think we're hoarding. Yeah, that's what somebody was saying. That's really good on you for doing that, and thank you for the donation. That's what somebody on LBC was saying as well. That he said, the problem is where people have this thing where they think you're hoarding, or they have stores have a policy saying you can't buy more than a certain amount of things. They've been doing like a community grocery shop for all the elderly people. And they were saying that's the problem, that people in the store, saying you shouldn't be buying all this stuff or whatever. But then they said, yeah, but we're not keeping it for ourselves. We're buying, 10 packets of toilet roll because we give a packet of toilet roll to, 10 different households. So, yeah, I suppose they have to, if they're doing a volunteer scheme like that in other certain places, they might have to give those people a card or something. So, I find it very good, speaking the truth media live. The reason is the nose bridge isn't all that high, and this is the medium-large one. It'd be even smaller on the smaller, if I demonstrate this for you. For me, at least. That wasn't a very good example there, but if I get this bit, like that, see, the glasses aren't interfering with the nose seal at all. So yeah, with glasses, for me, this works absolutely fine. If it's the ABEC P3 version, August, yes, it would be absolutely fine. Israeli M15s are great masks. I very much like them. And I've got the older one that didn't even have the second voice diaphragm on it. But yeah, but again, all these masks, it again depends on what sort of price you're paying for them. Because if you're paying too much, they're not worth it. There's lots of masks and filters at certain price points, they're very good. But if you're going to have to pay too much for them, you know, it's too much and they shouldn't be that much. Lifted but at all sorts, old industrial stuff, old metal stuff, some classical stuff, a lot of soundtracks. Basically, just as long as it sounds good, I like it, or sounds good to me. But if you looked at my genre of music on my PC, you'd think it's completely, you know, different genres that nobody would listen to as the same person. But for me, it's just, does it sound good? I'm not going to say I'm not going to listen to a genre of music on the principle of it being a certain genre. Speaking of Truth Media says, can you find any small size GBS? I can't find a small size, they only fit small. There should be some, but again, lots of places are sold out because the medium larges aren't in certain places as well now. Yeah, thank you, Sparrow. I'll feature that with the coat, a bloody bandage, and the SLR in a video at some point soon. But yeah, it will look a lot better with the rest of the stuff. There might be exploring that. You'd have to look it up. I don't know. But sadly, at the moment, all they're doing is if the police catch you out and about, they're saying, here's a £30 fine. And then if you get caught over and over again, they might up the fine a little bit. But that's all they're doing at the moment. You got that person before I got him. Well done, Mike. Oh, and there's another one there. I guess they're coming out the woodwork again. What is my favourite viral outbreak movie? Probably The Crazies, the original Romero one. If you mean the more realistic ones, Contagion's quite good, and that's not very old. Thank you, Daniel. He says, okay to disinfect a respirator with bleach solution. Depends what's in it and what the mask is. If it's very watered down, it might be all right. But if you've got like a silicone respirator, I wouldn't use straight bleach on it because it could discolor it, damage it. If you're saying, would a Czech MOF4 filter stop coronavirus, it would certainly help. If it's as good as a modern P3 filter, I doubt it, but it's at least a filter. Why did you allow that, guys? You've got him, have you, Mike? But Amiga Man's good, yeah. So why is Contagion bullshit then, Swaggerino? It's about a coronavirus that kills a lot of people. Seems a bit predictive, doesn't it? He's probably hidden. Maxim says, by the way, guys, I think I've got it. And one of the changes like this is my skin body feels like, you know, when you get a sunburn. That's weird. What the skin feels sore. Sims that. Also, I have breathing difficulties. Well, if it gets bad, obviously, phone a hospital, phone a doctors or whatever. But, you know. Contagion's about a virus that goes from a bat to a pig to a person. So, yeah, that's a coronavirus. But again, lots of viruses come from bats, saying that. I keep meaning to watch Das Boot and never getting round to it, in all honesty. That's something I should do at the moment. That's annoying, Vladimir. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who've cancelled holidays and all that sort of stuff, isn't there, with all this sort of stuff? Because, yeah, all the airlines are stopped or reduced flights and hotels are closed and whatever. Ah, that's an interesting thing. So blood type, I've not heard any evidence of that, but that would make sense if your blood type means you're more or less at risk. Citizen Kane, I thought was a bit overrated when I finally got round to watching it. It's not a bad movie, and I like Oscar Wilde, not Oscar Wilde, Orson Welles. I don't know why I said Oscar Wilde then, but yeah, Orson Welles. Orson Welles is a really good actor, and he's got a really good voice and everything. But I don't know, Citizen Kane, I think it's just because so many people have hyped it up, over and over and over again. It turns up on so many like top 5 movie lists. But when I watched Citizen Kane, I was like, oh, it's a good film, but is this really it, kind of thing? Oh, is there one of those people, Newt, in the chat saying it's just the flu? Thank you, Benjamin. Well, at the moment, as far as I'm aware, it has no way of getting in through your skin. So an NBC suit is only really necessary in the sense it's very easy to decontaminate in that regard. But, they're kind of handy things, NBC suits. Oh, that's interesting, Fernando. Yeah, so it's... But yeah. If there's particles coming out stealth camp, don't use it. It means there's a tear in the filter's particulate containment thing. I don't know, George. I think SARS apparently was transmitted in water to some degree, but I don't know about this. But I mean, I know for this, like the main infection risks are just contaminated surfaces and people sneezing, coughing, and breathing near you. What is in a plastic cheap CBRN suit, like £10 Gregory if you buy what are they called? Like one of those Lakeland chem suits, or whatever it was called, or like a Thai chem. Yeah, thank you, Benjamin. But yeah, the good thing with an NBC suit, at least, is they're easy to decontaminate. If you wanted a lightweight one, look into the Lakeland chemical one. I can't remember its exact name. Is it Chemmax? Or something like a DuPont Tyvek suit. And there was a 3M model somebody suggested in the stream the other day. And they're like reusable, disposable ones. I know that's a bit of a contradiction, but it's like they're built to be quite lightweight and obviously disposable, but you can use them more than once. But the nice thing is you can just stand into them, zip them up, and then zip them down. So they're very, convenient for just putting on and taking off. Yeah, it is airborne. Nobody's denying that in this, unless there was somebody in the chat I missed. Charlton Heston and Soylent Green. What? Soylent Green is people? Oh, I've spoiled the film now, haven't I? Oh dear, it's an old film. You gotta tell them. It's people. What are the supermarkets screens, Amanda? Are they the ones like sneeze guard type things? I don't have the inflatable one, Gregory, just because it took up too much room and you needed somebody else to put you in and take you out of it. So it's kind of useless. But, well, not useless. It's very good if you've got other people and you're going to go through all the stuff. But for a person using it on their own, just get an NBC suit. I've got my Polish regular NBC suits, though. Whatever the two were called. And the... because I had one... Was it Op1 suit, Op2 suit I had, and the Fu one? I've got those still, but it's, that Oob one inflatable hazmat suit I sent back to PO to, B store, because I said, as much as he said I could keep it, I was like, it takes up a lot of room, and because you'd need to charge up the pumps for it, You need to have like 6 filters constantly on it. And then, you need somebody to zip you all up in it and put the bits on your arms and, all that stuff. It's a lot of work. Thank you, Christopher. He said, Tech Ingredients, a good science-focused channel, just posted a video about UV and ozone decon. Any risk using that for my FM12? Not the mask. FM12 filter. I don't know. If you just took the filter off and put it near the ozone, I doubt it's going to damage the filter. Because I don't think there'd be anything to a filter that ozone would really degrade other than the charcoal in it. But don't put the mask near it for too long because the mask will get damaged. Well, yeah, because if you see how big those... Oh, Gregory's comment was hidden for some reason, but yes, hazmat A suits are very big and bulky. Survive said, did you see that Corona challenge guy ended up in hospital with it? Is this one the idiots licking like public things? Well, that's not surprising, as it is a Darwin Award winner thing. George said, my fire department gave us biohazard suits to use for like oil spills or chemical spills. I took mine home and it works very well. I think it could work as an NBC suit if I attached the Papa unit. I mean, NBC suits don't normally have a Papa thing. That's normally like hazmat level A suits, if you mean like that. But yeah, I just prefer regular NBC suits because I'd rather just have kind of like waterproof stuff covering me than, a big inflatable suit that requires electric pumps and stuff like that. Yeah, it was over 900 dead today, wasn't it? Yeah, and sadly, the Italian, I think it was health minister or somebody, said they're not even at their peak yet. So the infected and deaths daily is going to still keep getting worse for a while before it gets better. Speaking Truth said, found Nave on a skateboard for £10. Is that a good price? Yes, I'm not a massive fan of it, but for that price, you could at least wear glasses under it because they seal at the neck. Just make sure you unfold that oral nasal cup bit properly, unlike me, so you don't start suffocating in it. In Italy today, Victoria. If the thing's back up, it is. Italy's numbers today were 919 deaths, 5,909 new infections. So, that's a really, scary amount of numbers, isn't it? But sadly, yeah, they're saying it'll get worse before it gets better, so. Well, a few places are doing it, good cats. Whether or not it's good or not, I don't know, but I guess that's why they're using them, aren't they? Because, yeah, I suppose an ice rink would be cold, so it's refrigerating. No, did not hear about an earthquake at all. I suppose unless it's a really major one, it's not exactly important news at the moment, is it? I know that sounds a bit horrible, but with all the stuff going on, there's so much stuff that would normally be all over the news nobody really cares about because... Right, see you, Newt. Thanks for all moderating and logging, as you always do. The bright side to this, Mohammed, might be on the very far end of it. There might be advances in medicine and science. There could be all sorts of things, but, Right, wake up and smell roses. It makes things easier in the sense that a Papa blower makes the air a bit colder and you don't have to breathe as hard, but remember, they always require batteries and whatever to run. They add extra weight and all that. I'm not a massive fan of Papa units. Some people really like them, but I've just personally never seen all the fuss behind them. No camper, that's because they're not made from very good rubber, and as they age, they get useless. No, I don't know, because it's like a joke, isn't it? Speaking of truth, Media Live. He said, do you think that 2020 has been the worst year ever? What does the Soviet optimist say? Things can't get any worse. So there you go, Maybe 2021 will be even worse. Who knows? Let's hope not, but you never know. Alex said, what is the gas mask with the big lens on it? Where are you looking? You looking at the one in the corner there? You looking at the PMK3 there? Which one are you looking at? There's a recurve and a couple of compounds behind me in that corner. And what people think before they talk and shit, I don't know. Yeah, puffing guy, that's one of the main reasons I do it, just because it's more hygienic. It's cheap, because you can just buy hair clippers and do it at home. Once you've donated, ask for a Discord invite. Yeah, but that went on for 2 years, didn't it, Morbid Sacrifice? At the end of this, we'll have to see. It's kind of pointless saying something that's going on at the moment, it's not as bad as something that's already happened, because we're not at the end of this yet. All right, Mike, I'll have a look a bit later then, just so I don't get distracted. I'm not on too much longer, but... Yep, did it come with a probe, Gabriel? The only thing is, again, a lot of the price in mini monitors, I think, comes from the probes they're bundled with, but I like mini monitors. No, sorry to hear that, Gregory, if you're being serious. The problem is when some people say on these streams, I don't know if they're joking or not, but yeah, obviously, condolences to anybody that has lost family members with all this and that. Yeah. Ah, cool. So it's not the Alpha Pro. It does come with a Pro, but that's cool then. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you get lots of use from it. I think mini monitors are really nice, lead sort of done units. No, still keep them, Shrimp Zoo, because I've had them before the coronavirus. Because I just sort of collect them for collector's sake. Death to Western spies, apparently. If Vladimir's still on, I'm sure he can translate the exact thing for you. Because it is in Russian, after all. Thank you, Roman. You say, what would be the right time to start wearing a mask? I've already started every time I go out now. Just because there's so many people ignoring social distancing. It's widespread enough, you know. People coughing, sneezing everywhere. I don't know where you are in the world, obviously in the States if you've donated in dollars, but where I am, I'm just wearing it if I have to do anything out in public now. If I'm in the car, I don't obviously have it on in the car because I can set the air to recirculate. But in terms of out and about, I would wear mine all the time now. Yeah, like some people saying you should have been wearing it a while ago rather than... People think it might, Jamie. We're not sure. I guess we'll just have to wait till enough people have had it and recovered and then get x-rays done and lung capacity tests done. But there could be, there could certainly be evidence that some people unfortunately do get lung scarring or tissue damage afterwards with it. Yeah, so what is it, Survive, have they said about 3 Nightingale hospitals now, and what's the capacity for each one, like several thousand people? Well, thank you, Christopher Donald. He said, Tech Ingredients, a good science-focused channel, just posted a video about UV and ozone decon and the risk about using it. I already answered that, so did you not hear? What I said, Christopher, was that your filter should be absolutely fine. If you've got charcoal in the filter and you're using it to decon the filter, the only issue is it's going to wear the charcoal layer out, to stop smells and all that faster. But I don't think it would damage the filter at all because the UV light is only going to hit the outside of the filter, and then ozone getting in would kill viruses or germs or whatever inside the filter. So, yeah, I think that'd be absolutely fine. I did answer that before, but thank you again. But yeah, so if you didn't hear that before, I think it'd be absolutely fine. Yeah, don't use it on the mask, but on the filter, if you're just worried about viral or bacterial things, I think that should be perfectly fine. Because it'd be a bit like, putting a keys or whatever in one of those UV boxes to decontaminate stuff. But, I think that should work quite well. But, no, I don't sell anything because I try and be unbiased, where I just get stuff to collect it and then I'll say if I like it or not. I think now and again I sell things to mates, if they say, they want something and I want to get rid of something, but I don't really sell stuff on eBay or whatever. That's all right, Christopher. Hopefully it's a helpful answer. Right, see you at 9, Mike. I'll probably go off in 5 to 10 minutes, but oh, that's not good, Gregory. Was that like bacterial pneumonia or whatever, or just random viral pneumonia? Because I know a lot at the moment people are saying, "Can I take antibiotics?" and are saying like, that's good for bacterial pneumonia, but not obviously won't do anything about coronavirus. My favourite gas mask is still the Avon CT12. Well, that's one good thing it's done, then I guess Infinity, but well, if I didn't think that was a bad comment, but there you go. He's been timed out. See you, Daniel, if you're off. But yeah, I'd say at the moment, the thing is, what you could always do is if you have one that has a neck strap on. Like, let me demonstrate with this one. What you could always do. I mean, yeah, wearing it all the time obviously gives better protection, but if you say have it hanging from your neck like that, what you can do is when you start going into somewhere where you're in close proximity of people, put the mask on. So let's run this as an example. So I'm walking down the street, there's nobody about, I've got it hanging from my neck via a neck strap, the ones that got neck straps. You go into like a line or something, or a supermarket or whatever. So then what you do, put the mask on. I'm just getting the oral nasal cup back as it should be. So mask on, then, when you're out of the thing, obviously bear in mind about decontamination risks, just hang it back down from your neck. That's why I like masks that come with neck straps, because they're designed so you can just, put them on and off as needed. Is that the same person come back twice? Apparently I'm a racist, fascist fearmonger. That's good to know. I wasn't aware I was racist, but thank you for pointing that out. I wasn't aware I was fascist either, but thank you for pointing that out. But apparently the coronavirus itself is racist. So if you're fighting the coronavirus, doesn't that mean you're fighting racism? I'm sure something like that hasn't got enough brain cells to give us his argument, but GP5 I have. There you go. That's a shame, George. I suppose it was a long time ago, but what one's chloroporicine then? I have to search that up because that's not one of the main ones, is it? Is it related to chlorine? So it's like a herbicide type thing, insecticide. I hadn't actually heard of that one before, but yeah, they obviously did quite nasty stuff to people, didn't they, during World War One? Chemical warfare is a horrible thing. I find all the masks and that interesting, but the actual concept of, permanently damaging or killing people using all sorts of chemicals is a vile, vile thing to do to other human beings or animals, but we do live in a fucked up world, unfortunately. Vladimir, ducks and covers, ducks and covers. I don't hate socialism, Gregory, as in, paying a bit more taxes to help out poorer people. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. What I mean is I hate authoritarian communism and, National Socialism type things that murder people based on an ideology. But I'd rather not talking about virus protection turn into a thing about, Nazis and commies and whatever else. Oh, it's because when the government uses it, it's okay exploring them. That's their excuse. But yeah, I'll be off in a couple of minutes. But once was a turtle was the name of Bert. Talking about book and cover. But yeah, see, this is the problem when you let people start talking about political stuff. It just derails the stream where we were trying to talk about protective gear. Right, answered. Regarding got a Taichem 2000 for me and my grandpa, do you think we can reuse them by spraying with a little diluted bleach? Yeah, you certainly can. The thing is, Taichems, they're plasticky, aren't they? There's a Czech NBC suit there, like a overall one. There's a Taichem. Yeah, they're plasticky material. You can certainly spray those down and reuse them. No, can you go into that, Roman, before I go off? But is this where hospitals are so overloaded they're just basically saying that people who are ill can't be resuscitated now just due to lack of medical resources? I'd imagine it's that, is it? If I get it and it's dirty and dusty, Mohammed, or secondhand, yes. When it's just something that's still sealed in its packaging and been in a warehouse for years, it doesn't really need. Oh, that's interesting, Cypri. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that makes you wonder like that, George, isn't there? Like all the things like the insecticides that are supposedly completely safe for humans, although in the regions they use, there's much higher levels of cancer, especially childhood cancers and things like that, compared to other areas. Doesn't make you fucking think, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm very skeptical about lots of pesticides and herbicides and things like that, because if you're spraying something that's meant to be poisonous for one thing, I'm sure it's going to have knock-on effects onto other things, you know. I think a lot of people forget that there is, even if it's not direct, you know, there's a food chain type thing. So do you want to be eating something that's been sprayed with poison? Well, yeah, as Goon says, there's no such thing as selective poisoning. I mean, there probably is if something's watered down enough, but yeah, you're still spraying a poison, aren't you? The Fighting Wild says, can I have a look at his last comment? If I can find it, I can look. Whereabouts was it? Can't you just copy and paste the comment again? Oh, wait. He says, I have an M61 because it's my favourite mask. Is there a 40mm filter that is identical to the original 60mm filter? Oh, it's cute. Sadly not. I mean, there's probably some 40mm filters you can get, which are just pretty plain grey filters. They do. But in terms of, is there one that looks identical to, you know, the old Sudot 61T? Sadly not. I will have a think for you, though, and if I think of a filter that looks quite close, I'll let you know. But sadly, I don't think I've ever seen a 40mm filter of that look. Roman said, oh, thank you again. He said, yes, spot on. From what I've read, they will basically let people die who cannot cope with the virus by themselves and are reliant on equipment that won't have enough of. Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't it? But that's what happens when the health system comes under strain. It's like they were saying in Spain, if you were over a certain age, and I can't remember what it was it 65, 75, something like that, and you get into hospital with coronavirus now, they just sedate you and leave you to die because they're keeping all the ventilators for the younger people. But, you know, I suppose this is what happens when people were warning other people for months that this would get bad, and people go, oh, it's just a flu, it won't affect me. Now when it affects them, help, 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 save me, big government. You know, but as George says, Darwinism is running rampant, you know. Do as much as you can to protect yourselves and others, you know. Johannes, thank you, says hashtag stay at home, where is normally my phone carrier. P3 filters won't block the smell of things like ethanol, Bob. You'll need a combination filter for that. But it doesn't mean your filter's not working. It's just vapors will get through a particulate filter because particle filters are for particles, not vapors. That if you look at Dr. John Campbell's latest video, Patrungel, if that's how your name is pronounced, sorry. In Dr. John Campbell's latest video, he puts a clip of like a Spanish doctor crying, talking about that. As for Chinese fake 3M filters and masks, I found the Chinese fake 3M masks are all right. The filters are garbage. So if you buy one, buy proper 3M filters for it. Right. I'll go off now. Thank you very much for everybody that's donated. I'll have a look in a second at the Discord invite for the person who apparently donated via Patreon. But yeah, big thank you. I'll be on tomorrow. Hopefully I'll feel a bit less fluey again tomorrow. I've still got a swollen gland in the back of my neck that's been up for like a week and a half now, and it's sore to touch. It's a real fucking pain in the ass because every time I'm laying down on the pillow, it's like somebody's kind of pushing into a bruise. But I'll be on Weapon Collector's stream in a minute, and then I'll have a nice relax watching that. But who just promotes the history, sorry? Or hysteria? I don't know what Vladimir's on about now. But hello, Vladimir. Eltrick said check my messages. Is it on Discord? I'll have a look in a second if it's on Discord. But thank you. Right, see you, everybody.